There is a number that lives in your head, aka the number you are working towards. You picked it up somewhere along the way, and every time you check your pension, your savings or your net worth, you measure it against this number and you feel like you're not there yet. But what I've seen from 20 years working in financial services is that a lot of people are further along than they think. They just don't know how to read the signs. In this video, I'm going to show you 3 of those signs, what they mean, and what they tell you about where you actually stand. So let's get to it. Section 1. The number you're chasing is probably not based on your actual life. It's based on someone else's. You may have seen in June that Elon Musk launched the SpaceX IPO, making him the first ever trillionaire. Now let's just think about Jeff Bezos for a second. Bezos is one of the wealthiest people who ever lived, worth over $250 billion. But next to Musk, Bezos is not even halfway there. That is what comparison does. It takes something extraordinary and makes it feel plain average. Now, obviously, you and I are not Bezos. Give us a couple more years, we might get there. But the same mechanism is at work every time you measure a pension against the colleagues, or you're saving against someone who sold a business, or your retirement plan against someone whose circumstances you only half understand. You built your life. Why are you measuring it against someone else's? One of the questions I always get asked is, how do I stand against everyone else? Let me let you into a little secret. Here is the reality of UK wealth. The median pension pot for someone in their late 50s in the UK is around £107,000. If yours is significantly higher than that, and if you own your own home and have savings on top, you are not average. You're actually in a really small group. While the internet makes it feel like everyone around you is doing much better, you see the new car, the renovation, all the holidays that they're going on. But what it never shows you is the debt behind the car, the mortgage behind the renovation, and the credit card behind that amazing 5-star holiday. You've been comparing yourself to a version of other people's finances that just simply doesn't exist. This is the first sign you are wealthier than you actually think. But comparison is only part of it. The second sign is more practical, and it's the one that the financial industry has a habit of making worse for everyone. Section 2, you are probably measuring your wealth the wrong way. If we think about 2 people, both of them 57 with £500,000 in a pension, one of them has no property with high monthly outgoings and a lifestyle that needs around £6,000 a month to sustain. The other has a home worth around £800,000, which they don't have any mortgage on, they have low outgoings, and they're happy living on £3,000 a month. The same pension number means completely different things depending on the life it has to fund. But when people talk about whether they're on track, they almost always focus on the value of their pot in isolation on its own. Wealth is not a single figure. It's the relationship between what you have and what you need. There is a concept used in retirement planning called the replacement ratio, and it's the percentage of your working income you need to maintain your standard of living in retirement. For the UK, research consistently suggests the numbers sit between 60 and 80% for people who've paid off their mortgage. That means if you earned 80k a year, you may only need £40,000 to £56,000 in retirement to feel just as comfortable, because your costs have changed naturally. If you've been saving against the target based on your working income without adjusting for what a retirement actually costs, you may be closer than you think. Second sign, the number looks different when you measure it against your actual life, not an arbitrary target. So the comparison is distorted and the measurement is all wrong. The third sign is the one that surprises people the most because it's hiding in plain sight. So section 3, the habits that built your wealth are worth more than the wealth itself. Nearly 2 in 5 UK adults do not have enough savings to cover 1 month of expenses if they lost their income tomorrow. That isn't because of low income, but rather because the habit of saving money was never built in for them. The people watching this video are not in that group. You're here because you spent years, probably decades, thinking carefully about your money. You've been saving when it was inconvenient. You haven't been spending everything you've earned. You've been showing up to the boring decisions when other people just brush them aside. Behavioral finance research is consistent on this point. The biggest gap in long-term wealth outcomes is not investment returns, it is behavior. The investor who stays invested during a downturn, who doesn't make emotional decisions, who saves consistently, almost always outperforms the person trying to time the market over almost every long-term period studied. You have already proven that you have that. It got you to where you are today. The third sign you're wealthier than you think is this. You have the one thing money cannot easily buy, and the one thing that the financial industry rarely tells you to appreciate, the discipline that compounds over time. None of this is about telling you to stop planning. Planning is exactly the right instinct. It's what got you here. But there is a difference between planning from a place of clarity and planning from a place of anxiety and chaos. Anxiety is driven by a number in your head that was never really yours to begin with. Clarity comes from understanding what you've built and what it's capable of doing for the years ahead. You did not build what you have by accident. You've made choices over a long time that other people did not make. This is what it is all about. Not the pension balance or the spreadsheet. It's about the life that balance can fund and whether you are giving yourself permission to think about it clearly. If you want to understand what your position actually looks like, the link in the description box below will connect you with a regulated financial planner at Hoxton Wealth. If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel and give it a like. Thanks very much for watching.